You guys voted, and you guys will receive. You guys voted for this week to still do the Toby video and then the unboxing video tomorrow from the eBay package that I have gotten. So let's have a look at Toby. Now, I'm also just for the record, I've got a new way I've set up the camera. It's a little bit lower, so hopefully stuff like this and quick zoom ins like this are a little bit more better. So with that, let's move on to Toby. So most recent thing again with the other ones is the face, which is the 2023 push along face, which does have that gap around where the larger face would have been, but I think the smaller face complements how, honestly, a little more square this kind of is. It's a bit more rectangular, actually, but I think that other face made it a little bit more rectangular and kind of gives off a nice little bit of size to it. Overall, I'd say the top half of the body hasn't actually had all that much modification, dare I say it. It's the actual half scraped and painted framework were from when I was trying to improve this as an All Engines Go Toby, but now that the series All Engines Go is over and no more like returning characters will get merchandise for me to improve upon, at least until maybe 2026. Still don't know about that, but big thing, his cow catchers and side plates have been not majorly, but definitely extended down a lot more. If you can kind of tell on the light, it went down 2 layers, and then the exposed wheels. I added a third layer down, including the cow catchers, but basically this third layer you can see here is a coffee stirrer stick from a cafe, funnily enough. So fake wood, real wood down here, and that in turn meant I had to extend down the cow catcher, which this was tedious on both ends, because starting with the front end, I basically built it with the same coffee stirrer stick and cardboard. This you can see where it ended. Might try and zoom in now. You can definitely see where it ended versus where I extended it downwards. And what I ended up doing was, after I built it, I ended up cutting thin strips of paper and then one by one gluing them down. Now, as I zoom up on this, I admittedly have a pretty good camera. It does look kind of sloppy, where everything kind of melts into another thing, but from far away, you can kind of not really tell, especially from the back end. I think I did the back end a little bit more better, but that's probably because I had to cut out, which, same as the others, trimmed chassis block here, the shorter superior coupling, which actually I think looks really good on Toby, especially when pulling Henrietta. But yeah, the other thing I ended up doing on the fronts and backs is add the actual legible buffers, which were cut off from one of those kind of weird like playset wagons. It's similar to if I can grab it here. This thing's holding all my Erdl wheels at the moment. One of those stupid playset wheels where it's not the wheels. Playset trucks where it has like a little tab on the top, and what's the name, has those geared wheels that everyone sucks about, and then like it has like that little molded area for a face, but it never does have it. So I cut the wagon wheels off of there and ended up cutting them off, gluing them on here as best I could. Now, it's probably not the best, but even if it wasn't on my model, I'd argue they look pretty dang good on this Toby, and I kind of encourage people to do that instead, if you can, instead of maybe like hole punching card and then gluing them onto the little nipples he's got for buffers. I'd argue just trim them off, put these ones on there, because they've actually still got they still have their cylindrical buffer housing around it, which looks a little bit better than just like the flat, straight, like pancaked onto the buffer beam on there. But other thing, as we move up to the top of the roof now, To my knowledge, I don't think I changed the funnel, but something I definitely want to still redo because you can tell on camera it's very like, I don't know if it's a word, like brush stroke-ish kind of, but thing I did here was I took a cotton tip, I cut off the ends, made that, I believe it's a steam pipe actually. This is another one of the ones I'm gonna try and redo, but not majorly, probably just a bit of a repaint. I might actually, no promises, I might actually try and cut down the height, because I'm gonna try and change Percy to be a little bit more smaller, so maybe I might need to make Toby very small. But not like my Bill and Ben. That thing is the closest I'm gonna get to the ground of the Trackmaster. But yeah, cotton tip for this I assume is a steam pipe. I don't know J70's anatomy, but also a wooden dowel that I've sanded down a little bit to make a bell, drilled a hole, and I put it in there, which I did not get around to painting when I was trying to fix this up for the All Engines Go one. Or you can kind of tell, maybe underneath, it was a way too orangey brown, and then I tried to correct it with a darker chocolatey brown. But overall, it's a bit more messy, and I just need to redo it. But now I can go see it with Henrietta. So here is him with Henrietta. Now, this was made back, originally I actually made this before I bought this Toby with the intention of this being a All Engines Go styled Henrietta, so that's why it's basically very simplified, you can tell I drew on this a lot. The guardrails suck ass. I think I made a decent, you can tell when I added these step ladders onto there, it couldn't go through. What's those weird little Trackmaster, ascending pieces with those little guardrails on there from like that Percy 6 in 1 set? Couldn't go through anything that had those little, side things on there. But, basically this was built on top of a flatbed, with a cardboard body with wooden frames on the inside, but you can still kind of tell it flexes inwards if I pushed on it even a little bit. Cotton tips for the support. So these railings here. No, these are the railings. These are just I suppose they're railings. Probably the best kind of Henrietta face. It actually looks kind of alright. I can probably pass as a CGI one if I really wanted to, but I've already got a superior one. You can tell cardboard roof is dented a lot. Point is, I tried to put a lot of effort into this, but it just doesn't match Toby anymore. Especially when you have ones like the new Annie and Clarabelle that came with the Toby. Henrietta is just, even if you chalk up to this, I know it's built on a flatbed, but the length is, I would probably want my Henrietta to be something like this length here. Maybe not this height, but definitely something like this at the length of this with maybe a slightly modded chassis of some kind. But the other one I had to go along with Toby was this was made to go with my Tomy one, but it kind of can go with either one. My Trackmaster Elsie custom, which ironically I have actually had specifically, I've had this one for a long time. This was when I had my Trackmaster 2 Toby, which I do not believe is actually with me at the moment to show. But this was the green one that came with the Trackmaster Toby back in 2014. So this thing's had a life with me. But essentially what I've done was give it all the characteristics of Elsie, because this, even for like a Trackmaster 2 van, is very small van. Like even if I was to grab something else that wasn't as tall as Toby, or if I was to maybe get something like if I can just move my Sad James for a second, moving everything, even to something like my Tomy Diesel, it's a very small van. It's very small. So obviously I knew, I have to turn this into something. What can justify something this small size? And I was thinking, oh, Elsie's very small. So, to compensate to the fact that it's a very low to the ground box van, I extended you can't really tell because they're completely different shapes and they're two different pieces, but I extended the buffer beam up to insinuate that this is the top half and this whole buffer beam is that big again, if I bring back, diesel, the buffer beams would kind of, that did not look good, but, to insinuate the buff beams would be right about here to match up with an engine of that scale, which, even for something like this that goes with Toby, it's, pretty well matched in size, all things considered. Although, I gave Elsie out of paper, the coach style face with the eyes, the nose are built into it without the grey face on there. Somebody can comment me. This is based off of the trains model and also Audrey's model, but can someone please tell me what these corded lines are down here? I believe they're also on a couple of Railway Series trains models of Annie and Clarabelle, so if someone could tell me what they are, that'd be very much appreciated. I'd like to stock up on my British train knowledge as much as possible, but also with my Australian ones as well. But different door on the sides, a lot more flatter, new frames. This is in the livery of my idealized Northwestern. You can tell it's from the past, so it's Northwestern or nowhere, quote unquote. A straw that I filled in with hot glue, which I could probably snap off if I really wanted to at the moment, but I don't really want to do that. I think the reason coaches had these things here in a couple of vans, I believe these acted as kind of like water gutters, similar to the roof. The water, if it was raining, it would come down here. It would not always go over there, but it would catch the water and it would spill down on the corners, is what I think those are. On some of them. I know that there's some cords are like emergency cables or push-pull services. I actually don't know if that's what this is for either, but still, I'd say Elsie came out very good. It's, other than that, also, with the same card, I've put the steps on there as well. But other than that, other than, like, making a Victoria custom, which would be kind of cool, now that I've actually experienced the bliss that is eBay shopping, no joke, that means I can buy a lot more stuff that, I couldn't before, I couldn't access before, like Playrail models. But that is going to be for Toby, and this will probably be the last desktop engines installment for a little while because completely wrong movement there. A little bit the last one for a while because James obviously is having plastic surgery done to him. Don't worry, he's not being abused. You get the face, he's just lying. But I'm also thinking of obviously I've got to finish ones like Stanley, Ryan, Sampson. It's just that the latter half of the year for me definitely slows down, especially slows down when you have a job to consider as well and other real life stuff relating to Christmas and everything. I swear I'm not going to fall back on that joke all the time, or that excuse, but most definitely for a while. But rest assured, these guys at the back will be finished. James will be smiling when he is finished, I assure you. But I'm also kind of considering making stuff to actually sell on my eBay, which I kind of said on my stream. But I'm not too sure about shipping to the US, so that might be a problem, and I might have to only be to Australia, but maybe stuff specifically to sell, like a flat running board Thomas would be kind of cool. Now, unless I figure it out, but it will most likely only be shipping to Australia, unfortunately, so I'm sorry to what I'm pretty sure a majority of my viewers are actually American, but hopefully somebody out there in Australia would want a 2025 flat running board Thomas if they really wanted to, or a salty, or if I can get this here, a Back to the Future style like DeLorean Thomas with the time traveling circuitry and everything. But that's gonna do it for this week's Desktop Engines episode. Now, I did say Monday as of filming this. This is a Sunday. I do have an Ertl Sahandel and an Ertl Coley arriving in the mail because I, of course, have access to eBay. So, yeah, that will do it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for being understanding about other stuff that takes a while, like these. Henry, for example, Henry is just like not even dead. I'm definitely wanting to finish him. It's just I gotta find other stuff amongst trying to deal with everything in real life. But thank you very much for watching. This has been Soul Down Under, and I will see you guys tomorrow with the unboxing video.